So this river here, like I said, is primarily what I fish. The problem with it is it's about an average of 2 to 3 feet deep. It gets shallower, obviously it gets deeper. Something I wish people would have told me when I started fishing a small river is, like, I'd hear tips like, oh, find your root ball, find a rock pile, whatever, but they didn't say why or where or how deep. So yes, you can catch flathead in a foot of water, but in a river like this, they don't live in that average to 2 to 3 feet of water. That's not where they live. They might travel it sometimes, but when I think of a good spot to flathead fish, there's deep water nearby. Even if I'm fishing 2 feet of water, there's deep water close, because that's where they live. So out there, right out in the center of all that, is about 30 feet deep at the very point of it. We got an eddy there and an eddy there. That's about, I think it hit 19 feet. And then look, we've got rock piles, we've got root balls, we've got trees. They're in about 10 feet of water. You see, that's the tip that I feel like I was missing, is which root balls, which structure piles. Well, in the case of this river, and probably many others, it's near the hole. So at night, I typically set up behind a hole, and I like to be able to set up where I can have a current seam in front of me. 15 to 5 foot of water seems to be money at night. And I'll explain that better when we get set up here. Kind of how the fish come from the hole. They come up out of the hole, and then, you know, they'll go to places like where we're at now. You know, if you was here at 2 in the morning, you might catch 1 flathead on this bank, maybe 2. But over there, we might catch 6, you know, because we get the first one out of the hole in that 15 foot of water, then the next one, the next one, the next one, as it goes shallower and shallower and goes to cruise these banks. That's when they're acting normal and feeding. But we don't know if they're doing that because they just stopped spawning. We're hoping they are. I'm hoping that they're really aggressive and really hungry and we really get into them. But this spot, there's a chance we catch nothing, you know, but that's catfishing. I know that it's got everything a flathead needs to live here. We got deep water, we got eddies, we got tons of structure. You can see it on the bank under the water on the fish finder. I was finding a lot more. There's tons of structure. And then we got 2 big flats on each side where bait fish like to hang out at night. So it took me probably 3 or 4 years to put all that together. And that was all tips from other people, reading books, watching old end fishermen, watching YouTube, people on YouTube. And I picked bits and pieces and found out what worked for me. And I think that's what you kind of got to do based off your body of water. I'm excited to try a new spot that I've never fished, just to see if I'm on the right track, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it works at home where I fish, you know, 15 minutes from my house. Everything I just explained, it works if the flathead are biting. When they're spawning, you know, they're hard to catch anywhere. I'm sure there's ways to do it. I typically leave them alone. I let them do their thing. I don't want to mess with them. Just let them do their thing. That way my kids are catching flatheads, you know. I don't know, in my mind, if I catch 1 flathead and screw up its spawn, I ruined it. It's not true, but that's how I would feel. Okay. I always hook these bluegills up through the nostril when I'm in heavy current. Reason why is because if you hook them in the back or in the tail, it puts them in there like this, and a lot of times it'll cause the current to go up in their gills like this, and they die quicker, is what I've found. So I always hook them like that, and they sit in the current naturally.
Jeez. Pinky and the bluegill. Look at his back. How it's humped up.
Oh man, you better get the scale. Man, that is cool. I've never seen one that color, have you?
Mm-mm. Does kind of look like a blue. All right, let's get him back in the water. Just do it right here. We'll see you again someday, buddy. What do you think? You're free. Woo! He just soaked me. Whew. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. We got a fish on. See you, buddy.